set up our shelters. Now what we're going to do is we're going to tie our ridgeline. I have a full video on how to tie a ridgeline that I'll link below. We're going to make loops for our tie-out points. What you're going to do is you're going to take both of the ends of little strands of paracord that you cut, and you're going to tie a simple overhand knot. Now we have a loop. So I'm constructing a lean-to tarp shelter with a ground sheet floor. First thing I did was to stake down the corners. Now what I'm doing is clipping the tie-out points to the ridgeline. There's multiple ways to do this. You could put the ridgeline through the tie-out points. You could use paracord to tie the tie-out points to the ridgeline. Or you can do what I'm doing, which is clipping the tie-out points to the ridgeline using carabiners. Now, what we do with our loops is we tie a Paracord knot. What we do is you take the loop part of the end, make it go over the ridgeline. Then what you do is you take the knot apart, make it go through the looped part, and then take it and make it go through again, and then make it go through one more time. And now you just pull down, make sure all these are lined up, and now it should look like a fist bump. What it's for is when you hold it down with your fingers, it should move around very easily, but when you pull it down with tension, a bit harder to move it, and sometimes not even at all, depending on how tight you tied it. Now what we do is we tie or clip this to the tie-up points of the tarp shelter, and you got yourself a Paracord knot tied to the tie-up point. And then you pull it until your shelter is tight. So this is the lean-to. Basically, you stake down two of the corners to the ground and then the two other to the ridgeline. But what I did was I staked down two of the middle tie-out points and then made a ground sheet and then staked down two of the other corners and then tied up the two other corners to the ridgeline. So yeah, of this tarp shelter is that you can sit up if you're in the front. Plenty of room for you and your gear. You can set it up in less than 2 minutes, and you can have a fire right in front so you can be nice and toasty. But some disadvantages is that when you're in the back, you don't have much headroom, and you're more open to the elements. But yeah, this is a pretty great shelter. You can make a ground sheet very easily. It's dead easy to set up, and yeah, this is a pretty good shelter too.